Happy New Year, everyone! Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the Brit Does Baseball New Year special because we enjoyed our Christmas special so much we thought we'd do another 12 Sport Call. Nah, I'm joking. Um, this is we're filming this a couple of days before New Year's Eve, but Happy New Year to everyone. I think I've just ruined it for everyone. So, yeah, magic behind the camera. I'm joined by Cal. Cal, how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm a little bit upset that the mask has slipped and they don't think that these are all live when they press play. We're just ready to talk. It's actually a phone call when you listen to our podcast. We're just ready for you.
Yeah, do you know what? I think we should go live on YouTube one day next season. I don't know when. Probably will never happen, and it will probably be Dan because I think he'd be the most entertaining live just to watch him watch a baseball game.
Yeah, I think to get around copyright stuff, we should just have him watch a game and do the play by play.
Have a couple of beers first, and then see what we can rustle up. Anyway, this is a New Year's special, and it's a bit of a strange episode. We don't have any hot takes. We don't have any start bench cuts. We've got our predictions. We've got the Brit Does Baseball team's predictions this year, and we've got your standard who's going to win the World Series, who's going to win the division, Cy Young, etc., all the way down to who is going to be the quickest player to get DFA'd on each of our teams. So we thought we'd have a little bit of fun with it. And the main reason for this is come the end of the year, we can listen back to one episode and we can work out of me, Cal, and Dan who actually knows baseball the most. Spoiler, none of us.
Yeah, fact. These are. You said just now that there weren't going to be any hot takes. I'd argue that every single one of these is a hot take.
I've got a couple of mild ones in here, but there are a couple of nice little sneaky ones thrown in.
Couple mango and lime, lemon and herb, whatever the hell.
Mango and lime, that's a new one. Is that limited edition?
That's a Pepe's peri peri kind of situation. That's
for those of you that aren't in Britain, Pepe's chicken is.
It's like the KO to the MLB.
On that note, we're gonna. So it's just me and Cal. We have got Dan's predictions as well. Just so when we do release them on Instagram, Dan can't come and say I didn't give those predictions. So I'll be giving Dan's predictions at the same time as me and Cal. You ready to get going?
Yeah. There's no time like the present.
Perfect. And speaking of the present, let's start with the World Series champions. So who have you got for the World Series champs for 2026?
I was gonna do this properly and then realized I'm not an analyst and I am allowed to be biased, and so I've gone with the San Francisco Giants and then in brackets the Toronto Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays seem this offseason so far anyway have seemed the most aggressive and have made an already very good team even better. So I don't know. I think that's a sensible answer. If I had to put a tenner on it, I'd go with the Blue Jays. But I'm a romantic. I want the Giants to win it. Why not?
Fair enough. Well, we'll start. That's an incredibly hot take with the Giants, but you've got agreement with the Blue Jays from both me and Dan. So every one of the teams is going for the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series in 2026. I think for the reasons that Cal's already said, they had a really good team last year, and they've just gone out and got Dylan Cease, one of the, I think he's led the league in strikeouts a couple of years recently. Went out and got Cody Ponce from the KBO, so kind of fill out their rotation. And I'll be honest, on the positional side, they're kind of set because even if they do lose Bichette, which is looking a bit more likely, Clement can fill in. You've then got an infield of Jimenez at second, Ernie Clement at short, and Addison Barger at third. I do think they need one of Kyle Tucker or Bo Bichette to really lock it down, and I know they've been in rumours for them. I know the chat's kind of died down recently, but that's Christmas for you. So I think we're all going with Toronto Blue Jays, and let's not waste any time. Let's just go straight into the division winners. So I'll start with the AL East. Kind of backing up the World Series claim. Both myself and Dan have gone for the Toronto Blue Jays to win the AL East. I'm guessing for the same reasons we have them to win the World Series. Cal, who have you got for the AL East?
The AL East, I don't know. I've hung out with Dan too much the last couple of weeks, and I've convinced myself that Pete Alonso is going to turn everything around in Baltimore, and they're going to be unstoppable again. But I don't know. I'll go. So I'll go Yankees. They're always kind of there. I want it to be the Blue Jays. The Yankees will probably win the division and then crash out immediately after.
So you've got the Blue Jays as like a wild card team making their way through.
Yeah. I just think that the Yankees will kind of forever be right at the top. Like they weren't very good this year, and they still got through. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think it's theirs to lose, really. And then it's different to the Blue Jays for every prediction too.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. This is where I think we're going to have the most difference of opinion. The AL Central. So Dan's gone for the Chicago White Sox to win the AL Central this year, which isn't in the. I don't have them finishing bottom this year. I don't think they're good enough yet to win it. I think it depends on how that Murakami hits. I've heard he's either going to be a strikeout merchant or 40 home runs or both. Who knows?
Probably both.
Yeah, probably both. And 34 million for 2 years is a bit of a steal. As the other Japanese players, I think all three Japanese players coming over this year are all struggling to find a market that they thought they would have. But that's a separate episode. So Dan's gone for the Chicago White Sox. I personally have gone for the Kansas City Royals. I think Bobby Witt has a resurgent year. I think Salvi maybe 1 or 2 years left behind the plate. I've just got a sneaking suspicion the Royals are in a good place to do something in a division where the Guardians are always going to be there because they're solid. Obviously, the Twins are in fire sale mode. And I just think the Tigers are going to take a step back this year just because of how they ended last year. And I think if Scooble's in his last year of free agency, don't see him pushing it as far as he could potentially. Back-to-back Cy Young winner. He's got the bag secured. He just doesn't need to get injured in the next year. So I've gone for the Kansas City Royals. I'm going to be very high on Bobby Witt Jr. this episode, as you'll find out soon. Cal, who have you got?
I don't think that Scribble's gonna stay a Tiger. I think he's gonna get traded and stay with the team he's traded to as part of it. Annoyingly, at the moment, that looks like the Dodgers is the only team that can afford him now. But if Detroit are smart, they'll trade him early and get something back. I don't know. I like the Royal shout, but fuck it. I said I was romantic about baseball. Let's go Twins.
Okay, fair enough. Your second biggest hot take out of the 3 categories we've had so far. Who have you got for the AL West?
It's the Mariners for completely selfish, again, romantic reasons. But I think they're a very, very good team. And looking at it now, not a very strong division. I think there's still room for them to improve, but they were pretty good last year. I think that might continue. Yeah, it's a whole year of Naylor at first as well is gonna only do good things for them. So yeah, go Mariners.
Do you think Cal Raleigh's going to get more than 40 home runs this year?
If he stays healthy, I would put him at 42 home runs.
Do you know what? I was thinking 43. I don't think he'll get more than 60, but I've kind of got him in that. He'll take a bit of a step back, but if your step back is from 60 to 40, is that really a step back?
Right. It's still pretty good.
Once you get over the 30 mark, it's 30, then it's 50, and then it's, whether you finish on 62 or 58 or 57, you've still got over 50 home runs.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, on the Mariners note, it's a clean sweep again. It's both me and Dan have got the Seattle Mariners. I just don't see which team can beat them. I think the Houston Astros are aging. I think Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa, well, more Altuve's, is a very good player, but they don't have Tucker anymore. They don't have Bregman. Jordan Alvarez took a bit of a step back. And Framber Valdez is leaving the Astros. So that, in my head, rules them out. And then you've got the Athletics, who are just going to do athletic things for the next 2 years. Angels, who I'm a little bit higher on the Angels than I was last year, but they had such a bad season. I just can't see them rebounding that quickly. And the Texas Rangers, I think, are just stuck on a level of mid that no one really wants to be a part of. All right, we'll skip over from the American League. We're going to go to the National League, and we'll go west to east. I'll start. I've unfortunately got the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the main reason for that is I just think they've got the best team in that division. None of the other teams have really come close to eclipsing that with their additions. I think there are a couple of interesting transactions that have been made for various teams. I think the Giants sign in. Who did they sign? They signed Adrian Hauser. I think that could be an interesting one for you, just to mop up, be a steady hand at the back of the rotation. He's a solid enough player. But I don't think it's enough to beat the Dodgers over a 162 game season. No, I don't have the Dodgers going to the World Series. I don't think they're going to go all the way. I think they will become unstuck. I don't know by who, and I wouldn't want to predict who, but I think they'll win I do think they'll win the NL West, and Dan is in agreement with me as well. So we've got 2 for the Dodgers. Cal, is it a clean sweep?
Sensible Brain says yes, but who the fuck listens to Sensible Brain? I'll say the Padres. The Padres are good. They're all right. I'd be fine if the Padres won the division because they should be doing better than they have been, and they've been doing pretty well. So fuck it, the Padres.
Yeah, I've heard they might be trading Mason Miller already, or they're looking for packages for him.
Really? Okay, they just does stuff.
Yeah, it's like thing is though, he always comes under the luxury tax. Like he never goes over. Some of the contracts they've given out are wild, like Xander Bogart's contract and Manny Machado's. Like they're going to be paying them until they're like 45. But the owner just kind of goes, "Yeah, fuck it, why not? I know I'm going to give up my top prospect for 2 months of Mason Miller."
I mean, I don't hate it. As a fan, I think it's quite exciting because you're right. I don't care about AAA, AA, high and low A baseball. I care about the MLB team. So make them the best team you can, and then everyone else is kind of position fillers, I guess. Prospects are cool if you're a nerd, but like, I want a really rad starting 9.
Yeah. But then I guess the argument is Mason Miller is probably their best bullpen piece, and you've got him for another 3 or 4 years as team control. So why would you get rid of him?
Because if you can get rid of one really, really good one for like 3 or 4 pretty good ones, it improves your team overall around the edges. You lose a couple of wins off of him specifically, but it's spread out over that time. It depends what they get for him, though.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to trade him to the Cubs, I'll give you Ian Happ. Why not? We'll move from the West to the Central. I'll start off with Dan's prediction. He's got the Milwaukee Brewers running it back from last year. I can see why I think Pat Murphy's a good manager. Obviously, the Brewers always flatter to deceive with regards to you look at their team and they'll go, okay, I know 2 of these players. But they had a really good rotation last year. Jacob Mizorowski obviously set the world alight. Freddie Peralta was in the last year of his extension. But again, I've heard they're looking to trade him. I think if they trade him, they'll struggle. But we'll wait and see. Who have you got for the Central, Cal?
The Chicago Cubs win 100 games after Kyle Tucker re-signs and hits 3,000 home runs.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, did you just use AI there? But then when you said 3,000, to be fair, that could be ChatGPT. Some of the stuff it does churn out is
God, no, that's bad. And if you use ChatGPT for your baseball takes and analysis, Dan, then you should fucking reconsider what you're doing. Just have an opinion. You're all right. No, I would like to see the Cubs win. It would be funny if Kyle Tucker resigns because he's got nowhere else to go and like all of his stuff is still in an apartment in Chicago. That would be quite funny. But no, I mean, I could see that Japanese pitcher Imai going to the Cubs, unfortunately, as much as I'd like him at the Bay. But I don't know. The Brewers are fun and they're very good and it will be very close, but I think the Cubs are going to do it.
Yeah, I think this year, the way we've set up with our signings and, we've actually built a bullpen properly for once, it seems. I think we've got one very good guy and a few average guys as opposed to like one veteran who's meant to be a good closer. See Hector Neris 2024, Ryan Presley 2025, who just end up being DFA'd halfway through the year. I've got the Cubs, partly because I want them to win. I genuinely do think the Brewers are going to take a bit of a step back this year. And then I look around the division, and honestly, the ones making the most noise are the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we all know they're not going to win. So take that into consideration. I think the Reds take a step back. I think the Cardinals are in a rebuild. And I think the Brewers, I think it's between us and the Brewers, and I think both teams go to the playoffs. I just think this year the Cubs might have them, finally. We'll finish up the National League. We've got to go to the East Coast. This is my one weird one. I've got the Miami Marlins winning the NL East this year.
That's a hot take.
That's
Bukayo Osaka limited edition.
I just like the Marlins. I just think what they've built there. They finished third last year. I think the Mets are going to be a worse team this year coming up because they've lost everyone and haven't really replaced them with much. Okay, they got Marcus Semien, but that's about it. I just like that they've not traded Sandy Alcantara or Edward Cabrera, so they've still got a good rotation. They've added Pete Fairbanks. They've added another bat who I'm going to forget. I'm sneaky high on the Marlins. I don't think they'll win a playoff game or a playoff series, but why not have a little run? You just look at the other teams, and for me, I think the Phillies are aging. The Mets, I think, are going to be worse next year, and then it's between them and the Braves. I don't know. I think the Braves are kind of stuck in limbo. They've added some bullpen pieces. They've not really added a bat. I don't know. I've got the Marlins. Bit of fun. Who have you got, Cal?
Not the Marlins, who won one more game than the Cardinals last year. Just a fun little stat for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is one of those ones where like winning teams win. You know what I mean? And the Phillies are a winning team at the moment. As much as I don't love it, re-signing Kyle Schwarber is good. Signing Aroldis Chapman is good. They are a good team.
Chapman's playing for the Red Sox next year.
Is it? Did he not sign? Who the fuck did the Phillies sign?
I'll have a look, but I don't care enough really to. Chapman's definitely with the Red Sox.
Is it? But no, because did we not have he signed on the Phillies and now he's the captain of the old cunt team? You might need
I just think we were talking about the Phillies.
Oh shit! All right. They signed someone. They got better. They're a good team. The division around them isn't phenomenal. I think this division kind of is screaming out the name Bo Bichette. He could go anywhere, but if he goes to the Braves, it would shift things quite drastically for me. But not enough that I don't think the Phillies are not going to win it. I think it'll be them.
Okay, fair enough. Just to finish up, Dan's predictably gone for the New York Mets because he's a Mets fan. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it there. Our next prediction, so we've done the teams. We're going to go on to some player-specific ones. Try having a lisp and saying the word specific 10 times in a row. We're going to start with the MVP in both leagues. We'll do the National League first. I'll start off with Dan's one. He's gone for Ellie De La Cruz as the MVP for the National League, which I think is an outrageous take. Not as bad as the Miami Marlins winning the NL East, maybe, but pretty up there. I myself, I don't like saying this, but I think Shohei Ohtani is going to win the MVP again. Main reason for that is it's a popularity contest, and he is the most popular player in baseball. So that's where I've gone. Who have you got for the National League MVP, Cal?
Yeah, it's Ohtani. No one else is allowed to be.
Yeah, should we just move on to the American League?
Well, sorry, just to go back, I've gotten Aroldis Chapman and Adolis Garcia confused. That's what I've got.
So one throws 109 miles per hour, and the other one hits 109 miles per hour.
He probably throws as well, but he has a run-up, which isn't quite as fair.
Playing cricket.
My apologies. Wow, okay. Anyway, sorry about that. For the AL MVP, it's Aaron Judge, again, because no one else is allowed to be. We've learned that this year with Cal Raleigh, so...
Yeah, fair. I mean, Dan agrees. He's got Aaron Judge as well. I've gone for a Royal. I've gone for Bobby Witt Jr. I think if he has a good year, he has the potential to be more popular than Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I would like it, but the Yankees fan base is so massive, and from where I think too much of it is based on fan vote. I like that a lot of it is fan voted, but
I don't.
it's now the Yankees have a massive fan base, and so will get more votes than the Royals.
I'm just thinking: is the MVP fan votes or is that player and manager votes? Because I know the All Stars fan votes.
Yeah, which is a whole separate issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's definitely there's some aspect of fan engagement to
Yeah.
do with it because it makes MLB more popular on social media and stuff like that. So
Fair enough. Anyway, we're still on players. We're going to switch over to pitchers. Cy Young Awards. We'll start with the National League. I think he's going to go back to back. I've got Paul Skeens going back to back on the National League side for an MVP. For the Cy Young. I think he'll have one more year in Pittsburgh and then he'll get bored. Cal, who have you got?
he's always up there, but it never really happens. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride is Logan Webb.
Oh.
Yeah, why not? It's the year of the web, baby.
I had him. He crossed my mind. I'm like, he'll probably finish top 10 as he
He's
normally does.
he's not as exciting as Paul Skeens or Tarek Skubal or Blake Snell or any of these other guys, which is annoying, but he's consistently right up there. And I think if he has a really good World Baseball Classic, I think it's gonna make a few more people pay attention to how good he is over the year as well.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Dan's gone for Jacob Mizorowski, which I think I need to see a bit more from him personally. I think he had a good start and then he kind of, the regression stick hit. And he ended up pitching really well at the bullpen from in the playoffs, but I don't know if it's a bit too soon for him. It would be cool though. Yeah, like I'm not sitting here saying I don't want him to win it. I just think a lot would need to go right. We'll go Dan back to back on the American League side. He's gone for Max Fried for the Yankees. So again, I'd put him in like the Logan Webb category of always solid, never really gets the plaudits. Who have you got for the American League?
I couldn't decide between Max Fried and Garrett Crochet. They're both great. That's what I have to say about that.
I'm gonna have to push you for one.
Dan said Fried, so I'll go Crochet.
And I've got Garrett Crochet as well. I think
There
he's
we
a
go.
I think he's a strikeout animal, and I like watching him pitch. Max Fried's a bit more of a soft thrower compared to Crochet. Home run leaders, beefy boys that will hit baseballs. Speaking of beefy boys, on the National League side, I've gone for Kyle Schwarber. The extra burgers he can buy with that extra big contract he's just signed with the Phillies will power him to become the home run leader in the National League. Who have you got, Cal?
Well, I had Kyle Schwarber too, but now I feel like I've got to change because
You can have the same predictions.
yeah, but there's 7 million baseball players, dude. We can't. We
Yeah,
can
but
pick a different one.
6,995,000 of them aren't going to hit more than 20 home runs.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. I'll say Schwarber, but you can throw a brackets Devers lol next to it if you want.
It's not a bad choice. Dan's got Juan Soto. Again, isn't a bad pick. Hit 42 last year, I think. American League home run leader. Who have you got?
I don't want to say his name.
Is it Aaron Judge?
Well, yeah. If we're thinking realistically, then it's going to be Aaron Judge. But if we're voting with our heart, I'm going Pete Alonso.
Well, Dan's in agreement. He's gone Pete Alonso.
For fuck's sake, there's 3 million of them.
You can keep Aaron Judge. I don't have Aaron Judge. So.
All right, fine. I'll go Judge.
Okay, well, I've gone for his teammate, Giancarlo Stanton.
Interesting. You think he's going to be able to play every game?
Yeah, I think he can DH, and if he's just hitting home runs, he can just walk around the bases.
They're gonna bring in the Stanton rule, where you don't actually have to go all the bases if you
Yeah.
hit it over 450 feet.
Okay, you just walk back to the dugout now, Giancarlo. Okay, cheers, boss. Yeah, so those are kind of all the nice awards out the way. Now I've got some fun ones and some horrible ones, people might say. The next one we've got is the quickest player to get DFA'd. Now we've done this, so we don't know enough about all 30 teams in baseball to discuss the quickest player to get DFA'd for each team. So I've done who I think is going to get DFA'd on the Cubs. Dan has done the San Francisco Giants for some reason, and I'm assuming you've done the Giants as well.
No, I've
Oh,
done
okay.
the Orioles.
Oh, okay. So we've done one team that we support. I'll start off with the San Francisco Giants. I believe he's a pitcher, a Kaiwei Teng.
He is, and he's a wizard, and Dan is an idiot.
Lovely. Moving on. Who have you got for the Orioles?
I just put one of their 17 first basemen.
Oh, you could really annoy Dan and say Kobe Mayo.
Let's go Kobe Mayo.
Even though he's got options and everything, he will be the first one to get DFA'd. I've gone for a guy called Tyler Austin, who we signed out of the KBO. As his name suggests, he isn't Korean. He is an American that went over there. He's kind of mashed the ball for like 5-6 years, and he's come back over on like a 1.5 million deal. It's kind of like I think he's going to be a lefty masher, which doesn't really bode well for the Cubs because they don't normally do very well. But I don't really know who else to pick, so I've put Tyler Austin. Cubs fans, if you know more about him, at me in the comments and tell me why I'm wrong. The next one we've got the worst record in baseball. So which team is going to have the worst record across all 30 teams? Cal, let me know your answer, and why is it the Colorado Rockies?
Because they're shit.
Is it the Colorado Rockies?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, fair. I was tossing up between the Rockies and who I've eventually gone for, just because I thought you had. I've gone for the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, they're winning the division, remember?
Yeah, they're
winning the division with 42 wins.
Yeah, everyone else is at a shocker. Fire sale is my reasoning for that. Dan's gone for Los Angeles Angels. I think these are 3 good picks from everyone. I don't think we're going to be too far out.
There's a few. See, I think the Rockies are going to be better than last year, but it's just a shame. I want them to be good so bad.
I think we all do. I don't know anyone that hates the Rockies.
There's no point.
Yeah.
There's really no point.
That's horrible. We're moving on from the worst record in baseball to the worst pitcher ERA. Dan has gone for Grayson Rodriguez, who I believe was traded to the Angels in the Taylor Ward deal. From what I've read up, he was a former top prospect that has been injured for the last 5 years on and off. And I'm guessing Dan's pretty annoyed that he's left. I don't know. I'm guessing you might know a little bit more than that because I've not listened to the Orioles recap yet.
No, I don't know anything about it. I've just realized that I've completely misunderstood the text that this question said. I've got a very different answer.
Go on then. You give us your answer.
About 14 question mark.
Okay, so you've gone the worst pitcher ERA.
Would the ERA be? Yeah.
Okay. We can include that as a prediction.
So I don't know. 14 is what I've gone for.
Okay.
All right, let's pick someone. One of the Dodgers relievers that comes in for like 3 games and is awful.
I don't know. Are we just saying insert Dodger reliever here?
Yeah, insert 22-year-old, played in AA, missed AAA, and then through injuries has had to go and get absolutely thumped about by someone impressive, the Mariners.
Okay. I've gone for Dean Kramer from the Baltimore Orioles because I don't think he's a very good pitcher. And I think he had like a mid-5 ERA last year. Might have been like mid-4, but he was really bad against us. We've got 3 more. We've got which manager is going to have the most ejections? I'll start off. I've gone for John Schneider for the Toronto Blue Jays. And the main reason for that is I think he's going to be so angry over last year. He's going to fuel that rage up. And then the first game, he is headbutting an umpire. I don't know which one.
One of it, not even the home plate umpire. He's going over first base. He's running across the field.
I think CB Buckner. just because I know he's a really bad umpire. Wherever CB is, he might not even be umpiring in the Toronto's game, like opening game. It could be like he's flown all the way down to Miami, where CB Buckner's behind home plate for the first game of the season. Snider's just come out of the dugout, headbutted him, and then just got on a plane back to Toronto.
Yeah, they've played the early game. The Mets are on the late game, and when they finish, driven down to New York just to go fight him. I like it.
Yeah. I've gone John Snyder. Who have you got?
Again, the sensible answer is the most charismatic man in all of baseball at the moment, Tony Vitello, struggling to control his emotions for the first half of the season and getting ejected 30 times. But I don't know. I feel like every time the Yankees come up on my social media feeds, it's either Aaron Judge did something no one's ever done before, or Aaron Boone's gotten ejected again. So I'm going Booner.
Nice. I think that's a safe pick. And Dan's gone for Craig Albanaz, who I believe is the new Orioles manager. So,
Why?
I don't know. He'd just say Craig Albanaz. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Anyway, these last two Dan hasn't given us predictions for because we made up the categories whilst we were on air.
I'll do them for Dan. I'll come up with Dan's predictions.
Okay, fine. First one, we've got the most underwhelming team. Who is Dan predicting?
Dan's predicting the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, he did tell me he doesn't like snakes.
He doesn't like snakes or that baseball team, but he does work with boats. He thinks that they're just gonna kind of middle it out again. He doesn't think it'll be injuries, but he just thinks that they'll be in a bit of slump, and after Marte gets traded, they'll just struggle to replace him.
Fair enough. And who have you got, Cal?
I've got the Red Sox.
Oh,
similar, where they're always an exciting team, and I just think it's going to be the same. It's just going to be they're going to have the most mediocre performances over the course of the season. They're going to do well, but just not as well as we would like or hope for them to do.
Fair enough. I've gone for the New York Yankees because everyone kind of expects them to get 100 wins, and I think they'll sneak into the wild card and get eliminated by, I don't know, Tampa Bay. Why not?
Sure.
Yeah, don't know if it's possible, but I've gone for the Yankees.
The A's.
Yeah, that would be a fun one. A's in the playoffs playing at Sacramento. Could you imagine?
I'd go.
I think you might struggle to get a ticket considering their capacity is about 2,000.
No, there's a lawn at the back. You can just turn up.
Oh, tailgate. So we've got the most underwhelming team. Our last prediction is the most underwhelming player. So, Cal, who have you got?
This is maybe my spiciest. This might be spicier than the Giants winning the World Series.
Yeah.
I think, that's a great time for that to get out. I've gone with Paul Skeens.
Ooh, why?
I think this sounds not very nice, but he's been too healthy for too long, it seems, and something's bound to go wrong in a big way eventually. I think I don't think it's going to be Tommy John or anything, but I think he picks up an injury that just makes his stats slightly less mind-blowing than they normally are.
Yeah.
He'll be good. He just won't be, Cy Young contender like we think. I think he has a bit of a down year and maybe spend some time in the weights room or something rehabbing.
Fair enough. I've gone for Edwin Diaz, who is former Met, now with the Dodgers even, not just the one Dodger. Just because I think it's the Los Angeles Dodgers bullpen. He'll come in as a really good closer, and he'll come out with a 5 ERA and 10 blown saves and won't make the playoff roster, akin to Tanner Scott. Do I think it's actually going to happen? I don't know. I think there must be something going on with their bullpen because it's been so bad now for like a couple of years where like semi-decent players are coming in and just coming out not the same player. So I've gone for Edwin Diaz because I think people are going to expect him to have like 2.5 ERA, 50 saves. I think we may be looking at like 3.5, and I think for the Dodgers fans that'll be their best bullpen piece. But I think for everyone else, they'll look at that and go, yeah, he's done that for all the wrong reasons. I guess last up, who has Dan got for the most underwhelming player?
Well, Dan agrees that Edwin Diaz is on the beach a little bit in LA. He thinks that he's gone to a big team to make a lot of money and not massively develop his baseball career. Who does Dan reckon is going to be not quite as impressive? You know what? Dan's got no faith in Cal Raleigh. Dan thinks that Cal Raleigh cannot possibly keep up that purple patch and middles out to 20 home runs and, still above average defense, but not as many long bombs as there was the last year. So it's going to be a little bit more of a frustrating one for Big Dumper.
Outrageous take. Why is Dan on the podcast if he thinks Cal Raleigh is going to be the most underwhelming? I don't get it.
It's listen, he works with boats. That influences his decisions, and honestly, it's making him terrible at his job as senior sports analyst at Brit Does Baseball, Does Podcast Industries.
Senior being he's the only one as a sports analyst, basically.
He's the oldest.
Is he the old? Yeah, he's older than me. Yeah, he's older than me.
Yeah, there you go then.
And I'm older than you. There you go, a bit of magic behind the curtain. What job title have you got then? If he's senior sports analyst, are you just sports analyst?
Chief vibes guy.
I thought you'd go something along those lines. All right. On that note, this has been a Brit Does Baseball's New Year's special, New Year's predictions. You heard them here first. This will come out on the 1st of the year, the 1st of January. Famously.
Happy hangover.
Yeah. Well, not for me. I'm not going to. What are your New Year's plans? Are you going to be hungover?
We're still trying to organize them.
Nice. I will be asleep by 10. So have a lovely New Year's. Hope 2025 was good to you, and that's that much closer to the last baseball season before the lockout in 2027. On that note, thank you. You've been fantastic. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.
Bye.